Hello and welcome. In this video I want to talk to you about exactly what block printing is. There are lots of terms and terminology that you will hear out there: printmaking, block printing, relief printing, and they all mean very similar things, but I want to explain my personal definition of block printing and stamping, how it differs from other types of relief printing, and basically just explain what this is all about, what this all is, and my personal take on block printing and exactly what I'm going to be sharing with you in this course. So first of all, if we just backtrack a little bit, let's talk about what printmaking is. And printmaking is an overarching term for all forms of creating prints. So printmaking encompasses relief printing, which is the stuff we're talking about here: lino cut, wood cut, block printing, stamping, wood engraving. Anything that has a block that you carve into and print with is relief printing. But printmaking as a whole also encompasses screen printing, lithography, and all forms of intaglio printmaking such as etching and dry point. So basically any means of making an impression on something to create a print on something else is a form of printmaking, okay? But I don't want to get too technical, too academic, because this is a practical, fun, enjoyable course. So I just want to hone down on relief printing and then what we're going to be doing, which is our block printing and our stamping. So as I've already just touched upon, relief printing is a sort of subcategory of printmaking that encompasses all sorts of prints that use a block, that use the relief. So relief printing basically refers to the fact that we ink up something that is in relief. So you may have done potato printing as a kid. I do potato printing with my little girl, which is one of the most basic, simplest forms of relief printing. You cut your potato in half, you get a kitchen knife, you carve in a design, you put a bit of paint on it and you stamp it down. That is relief printing. So I did a lot of relief printing at university and specialised in things like woodcut and lino cut, which is my personal favourite of all things relief printing. Lino cut is the one for me. So it doesn't matter what you've got, as long as you have a block, a something, you can carve into it. So wood is one example. You can carve into the plank of the wood, so the sheets of wood like this table, or if you chopped a tree across and you've got the little rings, you can carve into the top, the very hard end grain of the wood, and that's called wood engraving. So relief printing, block printing, they're all very interchangeable terms because a block can be anything. A block can be a bit of rubber, a block can be lino, a block can be any kind of vinyl or different option and substance that you carve into. But for me, I see block printing as not lino cut, as not wood cut, but kind of these soft rubbery substances. And the difference for me is the stamping, is the fact that you can stamp it and you stamp it this way round rather than with lino cut that we ink and we print with the paper on top. So if I was printing a lino cut, say this is my piece of lino, I would get my block printing ink, get some ink on the roller, I would roll it up, place the paper over the top and peel to reveal a finished print. With block printing, with this soft rubbery stuff, we can stamp down. So it's very similar to stamping, rubber stamping, the sort of things where you buy pre-cut rubber stamps in craft shops. It also is very similar, and block printing does come from all different areas of the world, all different origins. And there are some beautiful, beautiful wood blocks that you can find, Indian wood blocks, that are for stamping down onto fabric. So for me, my personal interpretation of block printing is something that can be stamped in blocks and very often in repeat patterns. So within this beginner's course, I am going to narrow it right down to just using this rubber substance called Speedy Carve. It's 6mm thick and it's a soft rubber buttery substance that you can carve into. And we are primarily going to be using ink pads to ink them up and print downwards to create either single images or to create repeating patterns such as these examples either side of me, or for example within a sketchbook where we can repeat a pattern as well. There will be videos exactly describing the types of block that we're going to use. So do look at the tools and materials videos where I talk about the cutting tools, all the things you're going to need. But for me, block printing has this just wonderful versatility that means I can carve something really quickly. So for me, if I'm carving like a little block like this, it's a 5-minute job. So I can get something finished really quickly, which I really love. I find when I do lino cuts, I take a little bit longer. I often work a bit bigger, and the carving is finer. But of course, it does vary from person to person. For me, for what I'm going to share in this course is to create small blocks that you can print in repeat, or just have as individual standalone designs, such as things like this little bridge and this little tree of life. So it's a really fun, easy to kind of achieve something looking really great within a very short space of time. So I really hope that helps you to sort of understand where I'm coming from. I come from a fine art background, from a trained, I suppose in a technical way from university. I've learned all sorts of printmaking forms. So I've learned the sort of academic way. I've learned the techniques you should use. I know how to use printing presses. But I think the great thing about block printing in particular is it is so accessible. Anybody can do this. If you can hold a pencil, if you can control one of these and not cut yourself, then you can do block printing. You don't need a big studio. You can work on your kitchen table. You can work in a very small sketchbook or a journal. It can be an addition to another practice that you already have. It can be a great way to make greetings cards, gift wrap, to print onto fabric, to make cushions and bags and all sorts of things. So it has endless possibilities, which I will talk about later on. Okay, so I'm going to stop talking because I could talk about block printing and how amazing and fabulous and wonderful it is for absolutely ever. But I think you might want to just get on with some block printing soon. So I will join you again soon in another video.